the last play my father produced before his death from a cardiac arrest almost 5 years ago. In the hallway, I charged past Martha, the housekeeper, who was carrying 2 boxes wrapped in silver and white paper. She looked surprised to see me. "How is she?" I asked, but instead of waiting for an answer, I raced toward the stairs. "Your mother?" Martha called out. "She's in the kitchen." The kitchen? I thought she'd be in bed. But I was heartened that she was up. As I got closer, I could smell food, something cooking. Tomatoes and onions, garlic, red wine. It smelled like spaghetti sauce, although I couldn't imagine Martha cooking spaghetti sauce for my mother, or cooking anything for that matter. She broiled or boiled the taste out of any food, and Mom had stopped letting her near the stove. Still, I expected to find Mom at the table, looking peaked and wilted, cloaked in a bathrobe, a little cup of tea in front of her. But she was standing at the Viking range, her back to me, seeming as fit as ever in a pair of pale gray pants and an ivory sweater, an apron around her waist. Her light brown hair shone as though she'd had it washed and blown out no more than a few hours before. And she was singing along with Frank Sinatra's "Fly Me to the Moon." She held the lid of a large pot in one hand and a wooden spoon in the other. Empty cans of tomatoes and tomato paste were strewn across the counter. A chunk of onion and a clove of garlic rested on a chopping board. This was not a woman who was on her way out of the world. "Mom?" She spun around. "Oh, there you are." She put down the lid and spoon and hugged me, squeezing me tight. She hadn't lost any strength, and her weight appeared unchanged from when I'd been there in March. "I'm so glad you made it." She studied me. "You look a little tired. Long flight?" "Mom? I thought you'd be... Well, you can catch up on your sleep here. And see, I'm making one of your favorite meals. I also picked up a peach pie from the rolling pin. I know how much you love their pies." I felt as though I'd just walked into a Twilight Zone episode, and Rod Serling was about to appear by the refrigerator. "You're looking at Sarah Harrington, product of a dysfunctional family. Her sister has betrayed her. Her mother has lost her mind. Sarah thinks she's come home, but in fact she's just entered the Twilight Zone." "Mom, what's going on? You call sounding horrible and tell me to come home because you're ill. Very, very ill, is what you said. So I tell my boss I'll have to be out for a week, maybe longer. I scramble for a flight, I pack, I get here as fast as I can, and you're cooking dinner? I thought you were at death's door." Maybe all actors were overly dramatic, especially the ones with a few Tony Awards under their belts. But this was going too far. Mom dipped a spoon into the pot and tasted the sauce. "Needs a little salt." "Mother." "I never said I was at death's door, sweetie." There was a name for the crime of killing your mother. Was it matricide? I wanted to have the correct term because I felt I was getting close to committing it. "Yes, you did. You said your health was failing fast. You implied you were terminally ill." My voice was ratcheting up a few decibels with every syllable. "You said you needed your girls here." I glared at her until I knew she felt the burn. She dropped the spoon into the sink. "Well, my health is failing fast. My mental health, it's failing very fast. And that's because I worry all the time about you and Mariel, and why you two can't make up." I'd been frantic for an entire day, missed an important meeting, and spent my 3-hour flight next to a guy who snored and drooled the whole way. For this. "You made me come back to reconcile with Mariel? I can't believe it." She took a step closer, her hand outstretched. I backed away. "No, you can't bring us together. And look at you, doing it under false pretenses. You made it sound like you were dying." Mom put her hand to her chest. "Well, I am dying, of a broken heart. 2 weeks, Sarah. Your sister is getting married in 2 weeks and you refuse to be a part of it." Of course I refused to be a part of it. She was marrying my guy, for God's sake. The man who used to look at me as though I were the most fascinating and fabulous person in the world. The only person